Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is going on to 8 o'clock here on Tuesday, June 20th. A little bit of a late start due to some severe thunderstorms over my way. But keep it real quick because I know nobody's got time. June, the month of June. Holy hell, the month of June. 4183 is the monthly candle. I'll go over this as we progress through the week. For the month, we are up 5.42%. We have now had 5 green weeks in a row. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our monthly move is 276.83, so 277 points. 183 over here in May, 121 back in April, 302 back in March, 252 back in February. So we are on track. 299, 300 over here in January. We are back to getting some decent volatility as far as the movement goes. But the problem we're having with the VIX is we're only going up. I want to point this out very clearly. 3 days. 3 days straight through the 4300s. Go back, look at all your data you want to. When we do break the 4300s and break into it, very large rejection area, very quite obvious that we are looking for a retracement back into the 4300s, which will not be hard to start testing these lows. 4363, 4338, 4349, 4305, and then we have that big gap from prior to last week. 4299, 4304. So 1 of 9 gaps, that's it. But as of right now, we are up 27.4% off of the October bottom. We are up 14.4% for the year. And a lot of people are frustrated. Had a lot of good conversations this weekend, but there is still money to be made. And I tell you what, with today being Tuesday, tomorrow being FOMC, not FMOC, with tomorrow being Jerome Powell, we then have Thursday. And the way that Thursdays have been absolute rocket ships, I'd just be inclined to take Thursday off, to let Thursday do what it's going to do. We had a good day there on Friday with that 44.30, 44.25, only because the data that we had, the data showing that we were green every single day of the week. There was absolutely no way in hell we were closing green on Fridays. Thursday was it was a spit in your face, and that's the only way that you can describe it. Looking great as we're going into the opening bell, and catastrophe. So come back over again onto the QQQs. I've updated this in your email. It's just green week after green week after green week since the last week of April. All of May green, all of June green. Big, almost 12-point move on QQQ last week. Extreme overextended, but there's nothing you can do about it while 7, 10, 11 stocks are where all the money is in the markets. When I say all the money, I'm talking about all the attention, all the weight, all the focus. From the March lows, 285, it is up 31% from the March lows, almost 37% on the year. And again, we are heading into the end of the second half of the year. So, very quick scan for you. Here are your futures. Flat, 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 absolutely neutral. You get that when you have holidays. Everything is tightened up because you have had a holiday. So, would not be expecting major movements to be taking place today, other than that gap that needs to be filled to the upside from the weekend. Now, on to the other one I will bring into your attention are your index 1-hour time frames. And even though we only went from 44.48 down to that 44.07, 40-point move to the downside, 1% intraday, we are almost oversold on the 1 hour. Same thing over here with the NASDAQ, almost oversold on the 1 hour. Got a little bit of a buy divergence over here on the Russell, so keep an eye on that. And over here on the Dow, again, the same thing, almost oversold. So with the gap downs that we've got going on right now over the weekend, we will more than likely be opening oversold, which means If you want to play the risks to the upside, which is this 44.34, go right ahead, but I would much rather just go ahead and let it get back up to that 44.09, fill the gap, see what we've got, and then try and see if we've got a better trade on. Over here, as you look over here on SPY, looks pretty clean. 1, 2, 3 for a first move to the downside. Again, you've got your gap to fill at 439.46, which is exactly 1% from the highs that we placed over here on SPY. So again, monitoring. And here where I'm showing you is this is the last week of May with the big gap that we made over here on the QQQ, 336, 331, and just this continued absolute euphoric move, eliminating any kind of support tests all the way up. 10% from the all-time highs over here at 367.84. Obviously, want to see that gap get filled, which is just above it, 367.93, and then have a better look and better understanding as to what we can look forward to as we progress into the final regular week of the first half of the year. And then you have your VIX, and your VIX has been continually declining. That 1339 still works well, but very important, you have your gap from over the weekend, and you have your gap from overnight. And the gaps to the downside like to get filled on the VIX. So with these gaps, likely, first one at least to be filled, possibly get into the second gap. Maybe it's Jerome Powell, don't know. But this would introduce the SPX heading back up into that 4,400 area. So keep it in mind, keep it in view, and quite frankly, the way that this is all going with all the conversations I had over the weekend, I got the most bullish bulls that I've ever met in 28 years, bearish as hell right now. So have a great morning. See you guys in the chat room, and I will be updating you as we get along.